Ever wonder why some people leave their clothes all over and others fold everything so neatly?
Yeah.
Or why some people can talk to anyone at a party
Right.
and others like to just blend in?
Mm-hmm.
Well, today we're looking into temperament
Okay.
and how these inborn personality tendencies
Yeah.
really shape how we act and react
Yeah.
and how we interact with each other in the world.
It's fascinating how much these unconscious tendencies influence us.
Yeah, like from driving to shopping to even our spiritual lives.
Exactly.
So for this deep dive,
Okay.
our guide is this book by LaHaye
Mm-hmm.
called Why You Act the Way You Do.
Okay.
Now, he looks into these 4 basic temperaments.
Right.
Sanguine,
Yes.
choleric,
Uh-huh.
melancholic,
Yeah.
and phlegmatic.
Okay.
And we're not going to bore you with like textbook definitions,
No.
but instead, we're going to jump into some of LaHaye's more colorful observations
Okay.
to show how these temperaments play out in real life.
Yeah, that's good.
So he uses everyday scenarios like driving to show these temperaments.
Yeah.
So he describes a sanguine driver as someone who's
Oh, yeah.
engrossed in conversation,
Mm-hmm.
that they might even turn to face you
Yeah.
while they're still driving,
While they're driving, yeah.
which is scary, but I can totally picture it.
Yeah.
So what about the choleric? Are they the ones who are tailgating you,
Yes.
weaving through traffic?
You got it.
Yeah.
LaHaye says they're always on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get there as quick as possible.
Yeah.
No patience, especially on the road.
Yeah.
And then you've got the melancholy driver
Okay.
who meticulously plans their route.
Oh, yeah.
Studying the map.
Yeah.
Like it holds all the secrets of the universe.
Right. So they're the opposite of the spontaneous sanguine.
Totally.
So what about the phlegmatic?
Okay.
Are they the ones who are holding up traffic at a green light?
Well, not necessarily holding everyone up,
Okay.
but they're definitely taking it easy. Enjoying the scenery.
Yeah.
Think like a Sunday drive. That's their happy place.
All right. So we got the chatty sanguine.
Yep.
The driven choleric.
Uh-huh.
The meticulous melancholy.
Mm-hmm.
And the easygoing phlegmatic.
Easygoing, yeah.
But LaHaye doesn't stop at driving, does he?
No.
He uses shopping as another example.
Does.
Correct.
Yeah.
So he talks about the sanguine's shopping cart.
Yes.
Overflowing with impulse, buys,
Right.
anything colorful.
Yeah, eye-catching.
Eye-catching.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the choleric shopper, who's in and out.
Yep.
Like a military mission.
Military precision.
Only the essentials.
Exactly.
And I bet the melancholy
is
comparing prices.
Absolutely.
And reading every label.
Reading every label.
Yep, before making a decision.
Taking their sweet time to weigh every option.
Yeah.
And lastly, we have the phlegmatic.
Okay.
Leisurely browsing, enjoying the experience.
More than the purchase.
More than the purchase, yeah.
So even something like shopping reveals these underlying temperament tendencies.
Absolutely.
But these are just fun examples, right?
Right.
But LaHaye goes deeper into the strengths and the weaknesses of each temperament.
Yes, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
It's not just about the quirky behaviors, but it's about recognizing the inherent strength that we can all use to succeed,
right?
And the weaknesses that we might need to manage.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Okay.
So let's start with the sanguine.
All right.
You mentioned earlier that they're chatty.
Yeah.
Even while driving.
Even while driving, that's right.
So that sounds like it could be a strength.
It could.
But also a weakness.
It can be both.
Yeah.
LaHaye talks about their warmth, their charisma, and their ability to connect with people.
Yeah.
They're natural storytellers, entertainers, relationship builders.
Yeah.
But their weakness is often a lack of organization, a tendency to exaggerate, and maybe getting distracted by the next shiny object.
So their strength in connecting with people could also be their downfall.
Exactly. If they're not careful.
If they're not careful?
Yeah.
What about the choleric?
Okay.
They sound like natural-born leaders.
They are.
With all that drive and determination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
LaHaye points out their leadership qualities, their goal-oriented nature, and their ability to take charge and get things done. They can be very inspiring and motivating.
Okay, but this drive, if unchecked,
if unchecked,
can become a quick temper.
It can.
A tendency to be domineering.
Yeah.
And a lack of sensitivity.
Yeah, a lack of sensitivity for sure.
So it's interesting how strength, taken to an extreme,
taken too far,
can become a weakness.
Yeah. Exactly.
So with great drive comes a potential need for anger management.
That's a good way to put it. Right. That. All right, so let's move on to the melancholy.
Okay.
They sound like the ultimate deep thinkers with all that planning, all that meticulous planning.
And probably the most organized of the bunch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
LaHaye highlights their analytical mind, their creativity,
Yeah.
and their incredibly high standards.
Okay.
This makes them gifted artists,
Okay.
musicians,
Yeah.
inventors,
Yeah.
anyone who thrives in a field that needs precision and deep thinking.
But I'm guessing that tendency to overthink
Yes.
could also be their downfall.
You're right.
Yeah.
LaHaye points out that they can be prone to negativity, self-criticism, and getting bogged down in the details.
Yeah.
They can sometimes struggle to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Or let go of perfectionism.
It sounds like a delicate balance.
It is.
Between those analytical abilities and the need to manage their more critical side.
Exactly. All right. And finally, we have the peaceful phlegmatic.
Yes.
Always calm.
Yeah. Always easygoing.
Always easygoing.
They sound like the people you want around.
Oh, yeah.
When things are stressful.
Exactly.
Right.
LaHaye highlights their ability to stay calm under pressure.
Yeah.
Their diplomacy. Yeah. Their peacemaking skills.
They're the glue that holds everything together.
They are the glue, the calm and the storm.
Right.
But their need for harmony can sometimes lead to a lack of assertiveness, difficulty making decisions, and maybe avoiding conflict altogether.
So while their peacemaking skills are really valuable,
they are.
They might need a little push.
A little push?
To stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
Or take initiative.
Precisely.
Right.
Understanding these core strengths and weaknesses is key to reaching our potential and navigating life's challenges more effectively. Yeah. It's like each temperament has its own superpowers and kryptonite.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier to understand.
Yeah.
So if we all have these strengths and weaknesses, how does that work out in our relationships?
Right.
LaHaye looks at that too.
Right. He does, and it's one of the most insightful parts.
Yeah.
He suggests that opposite temperaments often attract each other, leading to passionate connections, but also potential for clashes.
Right.
So imagine a sanguine full of energy and enthusiasm paired with a melancholy who craves quiet time and deep reflection.
Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for fireworks and frustration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They might clash over social calendars, household chores, even how to spend the weekend. But on the flip side, they can balance each other out. The sanguine's spontaneity can help the melancholy loosen up, while the melancholy's organization can provide structure for the sanguine.
So it's not about trying to change each other.
No.
But recognizing those differences.
Yeah.
And finding ways to complement each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
LaHaye thinks understanding temperament is key to marital harmony. He also talks about parenting styles and how they can differ and the challenges and opportunities there. So, for example, a choleric parent with their need for control might clash with a phlegmatic child who resists being pushed around or rushed.
Yeah, I can see that turning into some power struggles.
Oh, yeah.
But wouldn't the choleric parent also instill a strong sense of discipline and work ethic?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Yeah.
LaHaye says no single temperament is inherently better or worse for parenting. It's about recognizing your child's temperament and adapting your approach, nurturing their strengths, helping them manage their weaknesses.
So understanding temperament is like a secret decoder ring.
It is like a decoder ring.
For your relationships.
Yeah.
It helps you understand yourself, but also how you interact with others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about empathy and meeting people where they are.
Right.
LaHaye also explores how temperament influences our spiritual lives.
This is where it gets really interesting.
It does.
So how might a sanguine approach their faith?
Well, LaHaye suggests that their enthusiasm and spontaneity translates into a heartfelt and expressive faith. They might love church services, singing in the choir, or outreach programs, but their tendency to get distracted might make consistent prayer or deep Bible study a challenge.
So their heart's in the right place, but they need to work on the follow-through.
They need to work on the follow-through.
Yeah, what about the choleric? How does their drive and determination play out in their faith?
Well, they're often drawn to leadership roles, organizing events, taking on challenging projects. They're driven to serve God and make a real impact.
Okay, but they might struggle with pride.
Right, they might struggle with pride.
And a need for control.
A need for control, yep.
And maybe even judging others.
Yeah, judging others who aren't as zealous.
So they need to remember that faith is a journey.
Yeah.
Not a competition.
Exactly.
Yeah, now what about the melancholy?
Okay.
They seem like the type to really dig deep into the theology of faith.
You're right.
Right.
LaHaye says they're drawn to deep study, analysis, contemplation.
Yeah.
They find comfort in quiet prayer and reflection.
Okay, but their tendency towards self-criticism could be a problem.
It can be. They might be overly critical of themselves and their perceived shortcomings.
It's like they need to give themselves the same grace they give others.
Exactly.
Right.
And lastly, we have the phlegmatic.
Okay.
I imagine their peace-loving nature would make them great mediators, bridge builders in the church.
Yeah.
LaHaye describes them as peaceful, content, and deeply rooted in their faith.
Okay.
They might not be the most vocal, but their presence brings calmness and stability.
But their aversion to conflict.
Yes, their aversion to conflict
might make them reluctant to address important issues or stand up for what they believe in.
Exactly.
So each temperament brings its own gifts and challenges
just to the table.
To the spiritual table.
To the spiritual table. That's right. And LaHaye's point is not to label anyone.
Right.
But to help people understand how their tendencies are influencing them. Right.
In their spiritual lives.
It's about recognizing those tendencies and figuring out how to use our strengths and work on our weaknesses to grow spiritually.
Exactly.
Right.
LaHaye believes God can use any temperament for his purposes.
Okay.
It's not about fitting into a mold.
Right.
It's about letting God work through us.
Yeah.
In a way that honors how he made us.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all goes back to that self-awareness.
Right.
When we understand our temperament.
Yeah.
We can make choices that really play to our strengths.
Right.
And set ourselves up for success.
So it's not about fitting into some mold.
No, it's not.
But about recognizing our design.
Right.
And using it.
Yeah, that's what makes LaHaye's book so powerful.
Yeah.
He doesn't just describe the temperaments.
Okay.
He gives advice for using our strengths and managing our weaknesses.
So let's get practical. What are some examples?
Okay, so for the sanguine.
Who struggles with disorganization?
Yeah.
LaHaye suggests practical things like calendars and reminders, breaking down tasks into smaller steps, and finding an accountability partner.
So it's like structure for spontaneity.
Exactly.
Right.
Now for the choleric, the short fuse.
Yeah.
LaHaye says, learn to pause before reacting.
Okay.
It's about self-control, stepping back from the situation, choosing a better response.
That sounds challenging.
It is.
For someone who's wired to just act.
It takes practice, but LaHaye suggests things like counting to 10 deep breaths, maybe removing yourself from the situation to cool down.
So finding healthy ways to channel that energy.
Exactly.
Right. What about the melancholy who tends toward negativity?
LaHaye says focus on gratitude.
Okay.
Intentionally looking for the positive. Practicing thankfulness.
Okay.
Keep a gratitude journal.
Surround yourself with positive people. Challenge those negative thoughts.
So retraining your brain to see the good.
Exactly.
And for the phlegmatic who struggles with motivation.
Right. LaHaye says set clear goals. Break them down into smaller steps.
Okay, so they don't get overwhelmed by the big picture.
Yeah, find ways to spark that drive.
And for all of this, LaHaye says we don't have to do it alone.
We don't.
Right?
He says get support from others, friends, family, mentors, therapists.
So personal growth is